This is the men's room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Flint police conducting an internal investigation after a Flint officer's gun accidentally discharged at a high school wrestling match on Saturday. Flint police officer was watching his son compete in the multi-school event at the Fowlerville High School when the bullet struck and lodged into the gym floor.
Sorry, everyone.
Believe it or not, in the panic, one person jumped up and tried to run away and twisted their ankle, but that is the extent of the reported injuries. A spokesperson for the Flint Police Department says he was made aware of the incident and they are conducting an investigation. Our question, why was it your worst day at work? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Brandon. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up, guys?
Hola.
So, I almost cut my hand off a couple of years ago.
How?
So, I used to work for a company that built trusses for houses and floors and stuff like that, and I was running a saw in there that cut the angles for, the roofs and the floors and whatnot, and there was this one little piece that gets jammed into the corners and a plate goes over it. And I had done this cut 10,000 times. And when I went to go cut it, there was a dull blade. It grabbed the knot in the wood, and the blade ran on me, and it sucked my hand in.
Oh.
And it made initial contact with, the web right below the thumb.
Okay. All right.
And then took a nice, 50-cent piece gouge out of my wrist. And then exit was a little burn mark on my forearm.
Yeah, it's...
I'm guessing it had, the automatic shutoff?
I hit the automatic shutoff.
Was this...
Well, it's not automatic if you have to hit it.
Was this your...
emergency shutoff.
Yeah, emergency.
I'm trying to think where this would be. Okay, so this is your right hand, correct?
But... let me back to the story of 2 days. I haven't smoked weed in 6 months, something like that.
You did what now?
I haven't smoked weed in 6 months prior to this.
Okay.
Right? And I had went to a party that my buddy brought, and it was parents, and they're hippies. And so I got, what every teenage kid will do. So I then have to go figure out a way for a piss test for this whole thing after I almost cut my hand off.
So did you pee clean?
Well, I mean, what's your definition of did I do it?
Okay.
Would you get?
They got a clean result, but it was not your pee. Okay.
The old Whizzinator.
Yeah. I didn't.
That's a lot of insurance money, though. You don't have to pay for that if you don't have to, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Why was it your worst day at work? 844-999-OLA.
At least it was almost cut off. Don't worry. Comment came in. He says, I was Mike production manager at a food processing plant, all kinds of equipment that chops and grinds and blends, right? So he's another guy working with this stuff. Says one night an employee got his hand stuck in a blender. Cut off 4 of his fingers at the knuckle.
Oh!
Only thing left with his thumb. Now, I have many years of first aid training.
Hey!
I'm hitchhiking. I was able to stop the spurting
my life
blood.
away.
Right. I found the missing fingers. The fire department finally got there. They took him to the hospital. After the adrenaline wore off, I ended up blowing out my lunch and sent everyone home. By the way, they were able to reattach 3 of the 4 fingers with 80% usage.
Huh. That's
like the garbage disposal. Every time I use that thing, I'm scared of it.
Right. It's just, you just picture the worst, man.
Yeah.
Like every horror movie, don't put your hand in a garbage disposal.
It's sometimes you do stuff and you know it's wrong. Like I had a Pyrex pan a couple years ago it was hot. It just came out of the oven. And I put it in my sink, and as I ran the cold water on it, I was like, this is going to crack. And it did. So that's always my thing with the garbage disposal. I just have this fear that one day, for some reason, I'm just going to put my hand in there while it's running.
While it's running. Yeah. Hello, Zach. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola.
All right, so it wasn't really my bad day at work, but it was a coworker's, and he verbally said it the next day. So he was a new hire at same kind of deal as the last guy at a truss plant. And he was going to be sort of my, like, secondary backup kind of guy because I was the only one bringing in all the lumber and whatnot. So getting him all trained up and whatnot, I'm getting excited because he's doing really good. And then he goes missing for, like, an hour or two. So I'm trying to figure out where this dude is, and I just needed to go to the bathroom. So I went over there, and as soon as I opened the door, I find him in the bathroom just railing cocaine and had heroin needles all over.
Jeez.
He just was just on the job getting totally high as he could possibly get, and I had no idea.
Well, you just met him.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah, I had no idea. And he seemed like a totally cool guy. Like, he looked like he was, like, straight-A student, you know, didn't do anything like that. So I went and told the supervisor because I was like, come on, dude, really? You just got hired. And so they let him go, and the next day, the same dude came in and was like, hey, guys, can I get all that stuff back that I left in the bathroom? He left all of his needles, all of his drugs, and all that.
And do they save it for him in a box, or do they throw it away?
They actually saved it for the police so that way they could file the report, but the dude tried coming in before any of that all happened because the shop opened up at 4 in the morning.
All right. Well, I guess, you know, I left my crack in there.
Well, I mean, I guess if I'm that addicted that I'm going to shoot up at work, I would go in and ask for it, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are they going to do,
Why
fire
not?
me?
Right.
Yeah, right. You already fired.
Hey, man, I left my stash here. I was in a hurry.
I just wouldn't leave without it. Why was it your worst day at work? 844-999-OLA.
Yeah,
You've never been
punk-ass
railing
drug addict.
cocaine while shooting heroin.
Hey, come on, man. I can't believe you love it, you amateur.
And nobody leaves needles. You either throw them away. Well, I shouldn't say that. You either leave it exactly where the needle is or you throw it away.
Right.
Oh, man, I live in an orange-capped heaven.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, man, I am in orange-cap heaven.
Yeah, there's one area around me. I know exactly where it is, and I'm like, man, don't walk in the grass.
No,
man.
and the man, and
stick
it's
to the
point,
sidewalk.
Like, I like don't ever walk barefoot through the city.
Mm-mm. Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Boo, bitches!
Boo!
So, my first day on this, I was in the Navy, and I was assigned to help out with a SEAL team in Iraq. This is probably a dozen years ago, so I wasn't a SEAL by any stretch of the imagination. I worked on submarines, to be honest.
Okay.
So I get out there, and I got a very, very brief rundown on what's going on. And says, all right, you got to handle all the radios? I'm like, yep. Okay, cool. So the team goes out. They go to a small village or town or whatever you want to call it, and they set up their security. They come up on the bad guy's house, and they says, oh, the house is dirty, so we want to reduce. So I'm thinking, because they've got security absolutely locking the whole city down, a whole little town down, they're going to bring the security in closer to the building. They're going to reduce how much of a presence they have in the little village. So I'm expecting to see people rush in. So I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead, reduce. So I'm expecting to see people rush in towards the building. Instead, I see people rush away from the building. And about 10, 15 seconds later, the building blows up. I'm like, wow, we blew a building up. And he goes, yep, look, it's reduced. Look how small we made it. So I may or may not have caused the building to explode.
Just based on misunderstanding.
Right. So come to find out, the team comes back, and Colonel screams a lot. I don't know if that's his real name, but he lived up to it. They did
Probably not.
The mission report.
Colonel screams a lot.
Yeah, I thought literally you were saying, like, the Colonel screamed a lot.
Right.
And
Not like his name is Colonel Screams a Lot.
Yeah, so anyways, he is asking questions like, where'd my building go? He goes, oh, we reduced it. Look how small it is. And he goes, well, don't you think that's something that should probably be on my pay grade instead of yours? I'm like, well, yeah. Looking back now, probably. So come to find out, I'd gotten there late, like I said, my first day. They'd already done their mission brief and stuff like this beforehand. They'd already planned on blowing the building up, if anything came up. But it was kind of like one of those trial by fires. If I chickened out or cried or something like that when the building blew up and the colonel yelled at me, then they sent me back on the next helicopter, heading stateside. But because I was fairly cool about it, they're like, all right, you can stay.
You just have to play it off.
Yeah. So
I would still say it's important to know what reduce means.
Yeah, well, the idea was, they're reducing the building to its smallest possible component, being dust.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, well, I thought it meant something completely different. Apparently, you need to clarify these things before you ask a SEAL team, before you allow a SEAL team to do something.
Yeah, just seems like
I mean,
strong advice in general.
Yeah.
I don't see them being loosey-goosey. I think you'd be real specific.
Right, I was like, that's a very specific job.
I'm not sure that he really got the lesson of that.
And you can see it all, I'm assuming, on the monitor as the operation is going on. That's what it made it seem like to me, right? As he was saying he was seeing it as it was going on, and most people were starting to run out.
Right.
Oh, I thought he was just looking at the building.
Maybe you're really looking at the building, or I'm assuming you're watching it live time on a monitor.
Right.
Which should be pretty badass as well. Why was it your worst day at work? All right, still to come. Return of Who Sucks Less and What You Don't Need to Know, the DNA edition, ladies. You'll either want to stay tuned for that or maybe take 5. That's all coming up next. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Who Sucks Less coming up, but first time for a few emails from the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Old bitch's worst day at work was when I accidentally rebooted the wrong group of computers for a branch of the military. Caused a lot of issues and a lot of meetings. That from Scott in Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Guys, back when I was in my 20s, I worked at a warehouse manager underneath a germophobic operations manager. Every day she would wait until the bathrooms were cleaned and then rush in the first before anyone else could dirty up the lower of the 2 bathrooms. One fateful day, she ran in as usual before the floors had even dried. However, at the same time, one of my guys decided to utilize the upper bathroom to make his own deposit. Unbeknownst to anyone, the main sewage line had been stopped up the night before. So, as she was sitting down to do her thing, my guy in the upper bathroom flushed away a morning deuce. The thing is, his handiwork had nowhere to go but right up the lower toilet, like a giant turd geyser. Yeah, she screamed bloody murder as her backside was coated in poop.
That's a nightmare. The water shooting up while you're on the toilet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If I even thought there was a chance of that, I wouldn't use that toilet.
A poop geyser. Bitches, I used to be a dog groomer at PetSmart, and we had to wear these smock things at work. One day, I was carrying a little dachshund. Is that
Dachshund.
Dachshund.
Dotson.
Dotson. Is it Dotson?
It's called a wiener dog.
Wiener dog. Carrying a little wiener dog to the bathing area, and unbeknownst to me at the time, that little dog took a crap in my smock pocket.
Smock pocket.
I found it later when I reached into the pocket for my nail clippers. That same dog also peed all over me the next time I groomed her. Rock on, that from Renee.
That dog does not like you.
Old bitches, while I was going to school in Wyoming, I was also working at the local Burger King. One Saturday, we had a very large birthday party going on with the age range 5 to 7 years old. One of them at some point went and took a giant dump right in the middle of the play place floor. Since I was on the lobby, I had to clean it up. So I had the lovely job of chasing about 12 hyper kids out of the play place during a birthday party because someone didn't want to use the actual bathroom. When the parents found out, one of them immediately knew who it was. And the culprit got a spanking in front of all of his friends, the employees, and anyone else who was in there.
Damn.
Meanwhile, I had to use some very harsh chemicals to clean the floor, then leave the door open to vent the air while not allowing any child to play in that place for the rest of the day. It was a Saturday. It really, really sucked. That from Becca.
Yeah, somebody pooped in there earlier.
Bitches, I worked as an alarm installer. I had to poop, used the customer's toilet, wouldn't flush. Took the lid off, broke it on the ground. Then toilet overflowed. $1,900 in damage because the toilet was discontinued and got all over the floor, etc. They didn't fire me, however. Again, alarm installer. Pull up to the customer's house, 7:30 at night. Go into my truck to get the tools, stand up, and have a gun barrel to the back of my head. Guy yells, "Who are you?" I say, "I'm here to install an alarm system." He says, "You are supposed to be here at 7 a.m. Well, 2 hours later, the cops finally showed up, and he puts the gun down. I turn around, and he is wearing a cowboy hat, gun holster, whitey-tighties, and cowboy boots. That's it. Man is still in jail for aggravated assault and kidnapping.
Damn.
14 years. Well, that's all. That from FedEx Mike. We have some comments.
Yeah, we do. It says, I used to work for a junk removal company. We were clearing out a house that squatters had used. I found a naked crack addict sleeping in the closet of the house. I'm a commercial tire tech. About 15 years ago, I was on a road call to change out a tire on a motorhome. When I arrived on site on the side of the highway, I met the nice old ladies that were traveling together. I proceeded to crawl under the motorhome and jack up the axle. I felt it dripping on my neck, and as I looked up to see what the drip was, I realized, way too late, that the tire that blew up had destroyed the septic tank, and as I looked up, a turd fell from the busted tank.
Oh, no.
And landed on my chest.
Ah.
I screamed very manly-like and scrambled out from under the motorhome.
Like a cold Carl.
I stripped my underwear and let the ladies know the situation and changed the tire. Oh. And then there's this one finally. It says, I work at a grocery store. Keep in mind, why was it your worst day at work? I work in a grocery store, and after using the restroom, an older lady poked her head out of the handicap stall and said, "Oh, good, it's you. Would you tell me if I wiped good enough? And if I missed anything?"
Oh, no.
And she was asking me this question. She turned her rather large naked butt around and showed it to me. I told her she was fine and left. I don't care if she had S up to her neck. In my eyes, she was clean as a whistle.
Damn. All right, we have time for a few extra emails here from the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
This one for my daughter Taylor, who is 12 today. Most amazing little lady that ever lived. You're the sweetest, smartest, prettiest gal around, and you're tough, having to deal with an older and younger brother. Your kung fu moves against them rock. You're extremely ladylike and classy. We love you from Dad and Mom and brothers Tony and Zach. How about a little girl face sandwich and a suck-it-up cupcake? Thanks, guys. You're the best. That from Mike.
Fish challenge!
So, suck it up, cupcake!
Birthday shout-out for my boyfriend George and his buddy Brent because they're kicking ass and taking names and boys from Illinois. Can you give them a big old bong hit and a classic original fish sandwich? Thanks, guys. That from the lovely Karen.
Fish sandwich?
Home Charles want to send a birthday shout out to my best friend and sister from another Mr. Jeanette, a.k.a. Butterfly. It would make her day if you guys would give her some Germans talking about the bitch that better have my money. Thanks and stay beautiful. That from D.
Yeah, oddly enough, you'll be calling me D as well. But if you are really a bitch, then we must do it doggy style.
Yeah, and maybe I'll put on my bear costume. And, bitch, you better have my honey.
Gangsta bears. I like.
Don't make me mad.
I want to wish my stepbrother Chase happy 22nd birthday. That was funny. As well as a birthday song. How about we give him some turtle wax with a little kid sandwich in the paws and maybe the wrong answer buzzer toward the end there. Thanks, guys. And rock on. That from Brandon, the bus driver.
Fish challenge!
Bitches and Wob, I just wanted to give a shout out to my buddy Mark. Today's his birthday. He's a big fan, listens regularly. Could I get an original traffic jam Jimmy Fish sandwich and a lovely Wobbin telling him happy birthday in German. That from your boy Travis. Thanks, guys. You rock.
Fish sandwich?
Ja, fröhlichen Geburtstag.
All the boys, it's my Uncle George's birthday. Can I get some gits with shotgun from Steve and maybe some dirty Mickey Mouse from Ted? Love you, George. That from the third shift housekeeper.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Hey, I thought I had some music, but I don't. Mickey Mouse sometimes gets a little dirty, and he can talk to your Uncle George and make you call him Uncle. Oh, there we go. Oh, that makes it feel a lot better. How about you come over here? While I go ahead and play with those bingo. And maybe later I'll roll out the red carpet. It's Peter's. Cinderella likes it. Snow White too.
Gosh, that expect you to name drop, Mick.
I'll just leave the duck out.
Guys, today's my lovely girlfriend, Maddie, pronounced Mad Dog's 24th birthday today. Can you get turtle wax with a Joey Chestnut and a Holy SJ? Thanks, guys. Love the show. That from Cam.
Joey Chestnut!
Holy J!
Hello, bitches. My name is Nick. Today's my birthday. I listen to you guys every night while I'm repoing cars in lovely Kansas City. I can't smoke at work, so can I get a big old bong rip and the dirty Germans talking about working the night shift? Thanks, guys, and rock on.
Whoops. Yeah, for your birthday, you will not have to work the night shift. You will work my stick shift.
Yeah, and the night shift is great. As a poet once told us, it's when the freaks come out.
Guys, love the show. Want to wish a good friend of mine, George, a happy birthday. Let's hit the course. Can I get a big old bong rip? Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. That from Brand. Guys, it is the big number 35 for me today. Can I get the dirty Germans talking about redheads? Thanks. That from the lovely Lindsay in South Carolina.
Yeah, the funny thing about most redheads, that was my nickname because of my penis.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a slip and slide? Just that's my theory on these redheads. It should seem like you're very good.
Hello, guys. Today is my wife Christy's 41st trip around the sun. She would love a birthday song, and look out, and maybe some wedding puke. Thank you, guys. That from Kevin.
Look out.
Guys, I'd like to wish my wonderful boyfriend Cameron a happy birthday. He's been a big fan of your show for many years and even met the Ted Smith at one of his pro MMA fights. He'll actually be fighting MMA next month and is ready to bring the heat. I'd like to hear you guys talking all over each other about MMA and is your penis too small? Thanks, and with love, that from Akaya. I'll tell you the one thing about
the MMA. I don't even know the first MCs, the second and the third one. But the whole thing is, man, always look at the ears. Don't get too smacked that you're going to get your ass kicked.
Hey, guys, love the show. It is my great aunt's 110th birthday. Could you guys give her an old school barbershop quartet fish sandwich? Thanks, guys. That from the lovely Kathy.
Can I get a fish sandwich? Oh, you know I gotta eat right. Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? You put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you.
Ja, the Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
All right, coming up, what you don't need to know, the DNA edition. Also, we will drink and toast with the shot of the day momentarily, but first.
Now, the men's room wants to know, who sucks less?
Yay! Once again, it is time for Who Sucks Less. Stephen Throwhill, you bring us 3 stories in the news every week. It is up to us to determine which of these 3 stories suck the least. Now, here's the deal. If you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, yes, we are on the Instagram at Men's Room Live, and you like the Men's Room on Facebook, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yeah, and this week, as we do every week, we take, 3 candidates and pit them against each other. This week, we do the school edition, if you will. So, a school in Arizona will be competing against a school in Florida, and they will be taking on the governor of Kentucky. But let's start in Arizona, where, basically the school yearbooks are starting to come out. It's that time of the school year, but the 2017-2018 yearbook from Sonoran Science Academy in Peoria, Arizona, seems like they may have gotten themselves in some hot water. In this case, a woman by the name of Bree Brown. She's one of several parents who could not believe what was in the yearbook, where an 8th grader who was voted, quote, most likely to bomb the U.S. The yearbook was sent home with students a few days ago. It didn't take long for the controversy to blow up. They spotted a number of questionable comments in the K-8 charter school. It's not even high school.
No.
This is not even high school. Right? One girl was voted most likely to steal gang people's food. Another student's favorite memory was, quote, when someone got stabbed with a pencil. But nothing, they say, compares to the outrage over the boy most likely to become a terrorist. The Sonoran Science Academy, a spokesman there, said never had a class vote on the best and worst categories. In fact, the 8th graders each filled out a yearbook form. They were allowed to write any statements they wanted and then place them next to the picture. This 8th grader apparently thought it'd be funny if he said he was most likely to bomb the U.S. Sensitive times. Anyway, the school itself says our school is investigating how this incident occurred, and they've already taken disciplinary action against the faculty advisor. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go to Florida now. Now, you might remember a few months ago, a teacher in Florida fed a sick puppy to like a snapping turtle or something.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the state of Florida, where this time a teacher's accused of drowning at least 2 raccoons during a science class. This time at Marion County's Forest High School. He's been placed on paid administrative leave in the meantime, but a student who provided the video of the incident said some of the students were left with nightmares after the 6th grade period agricultural science class. The student said it took the raccoon several minutes to drown. He said, quote, they finally took the cage out of the water, and they trapped it into a smaller cage where the top of the cage would then go down in the water. And that's how they killed the second raccoon. Well, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission offices said they're investigating the legality of the issue. The student said the teacher asked students not to record the drownings, but as you would guess, many of them did. The teacher's name has not been released. And now let's go to Kentucky. This happened last month. You might remember the teacher strikes across the country, okay? So in this case, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin, he was asked about the teachers leaving the classroom to attend a protest rally, and he said, quote, I guarantee you, somewhere in Kentucky today, a child was sexually assaulted that was left at home because there was nobody there to watch them.
No!
Hey, man, that was... They didn't ask him about that. They asked him about the teachers going to the protest. That's his response. In the interview, he said, quote, that's what's crazy to me. Do you know how many hundreds of thousands of children today were left at home alone? He then added that consequently a child in Kentucky was sexually assaulted. And he added that he guaranteed a child was, quote, physically assaulted or ingested poison because they were home alone because a single parent did not. Anyway, the governor, he'd been a sharp critic of the Kentucky Education Association in recent weeks, as, of course, they were protesting for their pensions, etc. He said many parents could not afford to miss work, which everyone understands that. But he said especially in rural areas. So the children were left unattended, and some of them in communities where people know for a fact they were taken advantage of. That's a pretty uplifting statement. So anyway, we this week we have the K through 8 yearbook. I went home in Arizona where the students got to vote for themselves. Keep that in mind, but most likely to bomb the U.S. My favorite memory was another student getting stabbed with a pencil, etc. Parents trying to figure out how that was allowed to happen. You have the teacher in Florida, who, like the other teacher in Florida, for a live demonstration for the class. 2 raccoons drowned to death in class. I don't know what the lesson was, but whatever the case, that's what went down. And then the Kentucky governor, who, understandably, doesn't want to deal with the strike. Well, the teachers walked out, and it had nothing to do with the economics. His immediate equation is that, as a result of this, kids in Kentucky are being sexually assaulted.
I guarantee you that I think the one that sucks the most... I think the one that sucks the most as far as being traumatic is the kids that had to watch the 2 raccoons drown.
For sure.
I think that was the one that would just be like, that would be hard to watch. And that would be very difficult.
Well, it's because the teacher knows, look, I don't know what the class was.
I know they were
so my
killing
argument's
chickens
not that, but
stuff.
it's this. If the teacher said, please don't record this, and the teacher already knows what the repercussions might be, so it's a judgment call, and then I put more weight on that.
I would also
I hope it's
say...
at least a science class.
It was a science
class, but there's no...
Yeah, it wasn't gym.
There's nothing scientific about
it
drowning.
was a science
They're
class.
just trying to keep the chickens from being eaten. The people of Kentucky, now they get to know their governor. If they didn't know him now, they know him, if they didn't know him then, they know him now.
Right.
They voted for him. That's on them. I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm just like, look, you put this guy in there. If this is the level of the guy that you put as your governor, well, then you're going to have to eat that sandwich for the next few years. I think the kids at the school actually put these quotes in about themselves. They're the ones who said, like, they voted on it.
Well, no, they wrote them in.
They wrote them in themselves, though, right?
Yeah, about yourself.
Okay.
So I couldn't say Miles is a duty head,
but
I can say I like to taste the poop, right? And put it next to my picture, sure.
Okay, yeah, you could say that about yourself.
About myself,
right?
About myself.
See, in my mind, I think that sucks the least.
Yeah.
If you're taking a shot at yourself, I mean, it might not be in good taste, the joke, but
sure. But
if you can't take a joke that you're telling on yourself, then who can?
Well, it's not even that. I think their position is like, look, we get it. But when it's K through 8, why
Right.
would you? I mean,
Right, yeah, well,
Bodie McBoatface exists for a
the
reason.
school board sucks in this instance, I think.
But it's not the worst thing.
I'm kind of with you, but also I gotta say for Kentucky, like I know that logic is ridiculous and this and that, but it's kind of standard course and people buy it. So I don't like. I almost might say he sucks the least because he's just doing the playbook.
Yeah, that's true. If you like the Men's Room on Facebook, or you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, the debate is continuing there on who sucks less. All right, coming up, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. The return of What You Don't Need to Know, the DNA edition, is coming up next. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
All right, coming up, another round of Profile This, and we will drink and toast with a shot of the day, but first...
We're full of useless information, and you have far too many brain cells not to let us kill a few. So lend an ear while the Men's Room shares what you don't need to know.
Attention, ladies, this is going to be startling. We've talked about this a little bit. We haven't really gotten into the depths of what this means and what this is all about, but a new study came out that hopefully won't be as bad for you as other people, but depends on the life you have led. As it is now known that women retain and carry living DNA from every man with whom they have had sexual intercourse, according to a new study by the University of Seattle and the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center.
That's right, baby. Remember me, that one-night stand with the googly eye?
Now, what you
I'm
need to
all
know
up in that brain.
is this study, like most medical studies and other studies, was discovered with accidentally, basically. They were originally trying to determine if women who have been pregnant with a son might be more predisposed to certain neurological diseases that occur more frequently in males. But as the scientists picked apart the female brain, the study began to veer wildly off course. As it turns out, the female brain is even more mysterious than scientists previously thought. The study found that female brains often harbor male microisms, or in other words, the presence of male DNA that originate from another individual and are genetically distinct from the cells that make up the rest of the woman.
I'm all in your brain, mama.
According to the study, 63% of females tested harbored male DNA in their brain. Male DNA was present in multiple brain regions. So 63% of the women carry male DNA cells that live in their brains. Obviously, researchers wanted to know...
You got sperm on the brain, mama.
Where did that male DNA come from? Anyone care to guess? From the woman's fathers? No, your father's DNA combines with your mother's to create your unique DNA. Well, the researchers assumed the most likely answer was that all male DNA found living in the female brain came from male pregnancy, maybe. That was a safe bet, right? No, that's not true. The conclusion... Those male DNA things were not infrequent in women without sons. Besides known pregnancies, other possible sources of this DNA include unrecognized spontaneous abortion, maybe, vanished male twins, an older brother transferred by the maternal circulation.
Not so complicated, mama.
Or sexual intercourse. And that was the one that
getting warmer.
That was what won. This has very important ramifications for women. Every male that you have been with, you absorb spermatozoa that becomes a living part of you for the rest of your life.
Oh, that's sexy. Remember sleeping with me on that hot summer night?
The women autopsied in this study were elderly. Some had been carrying the living male DNA inside them for well over 50 years. Sperm is alive. It is living cells. When it is injected into you, it swims and swims until it crashes headlong into a wall, and then it attaches and burrows into your flesh. If it's in your mouth, it swims and climbs into your nasal passages. In your ear,
why keep blowing your nose,
mama? It enters your bloodstream.
Could you smell me?
Then it collects in your brain and spine. Just so you know, this is like something out of a sci-fi movie. That stuff swims everywhere once it gets in you.
So it's literally on the brain?
It depends on where it's been. It's going to be, yeah.
You thinking Arby's or just beef?
I don't know, but hey, and we made it to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
I was thinking of you. Yeah, I know. I'm on the brain.
I still think of you. Yeah, I know.
How did I get there? Through the eyeball, apparently, if I remember correctly.
I like that they covered both sides.
I know, and then you're not safe if you only do.
Could have been all kind. Could have entered the way a lot of different places.
Right.
A lot of doors to this house.
It went through a door and stayed.
Door, window, vent.
Today we toast an unidentified woman from, we'll just say, parts unknown. In other words, she's a poster on Reddit, and she recently shared her story of a guy that was bugging her to send him nude pictures, all right? So she sent the guy some pictures. Now, a little later, she gets a video back of the guy masturbating to the cleavage pictures that she'd sent him. And she got a really good laugh because she didn't actually send pictures of her cleavage. What she actually did, she zoomed in on a photo of the forehead of celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay.
What?
Yeah, she, again, zoomed in on a photo of the forehead of Gordon Ramsay. It looked like cleavage enough. Sent it to this guy. This guy sends back a video of him masturbating furiously to this picture. Oh, she did get quite the chuckle out of that.
The forehead of Gordon Ramsay.
She zoomed in on his forehead as you look at Gordon Ramsay. Sent him the picture, said it was cleavage, and this guy sent a video back.
I mean, I guess with the little bump in there.
When he's furrowing his brow, man.
If you really zoomed in.
Right.
I'll be damned.
Oh, yeah.
So hot.
There you go. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the and down the throats to party in our tummies. Down the hola, bichola! You got to stop looking at the pictures of
Caller
Gordon
9 on
Ramsay.
the line right now. 844-999-HOLA. Profile this coming up.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.